I'm Vanessa Van Edwards. I'm a behavioral researcher and best-selling author. My books Captivate and Cues teach people the 97 signals to be charismatic. I also teach communication at Harvard University and have online courses for smart people who want to learn social skills.
How to understand and read people.
I want to teach you one of the most powerful social skills, observation. This is an intentional learned skill, and it's not passive. Observation is about actively reading the room and decoding emotional signals that are being sent to you. I think learning how to observe and observe well is like a secret social superpower. It helps you see hidden emotions, which then you can spot and untangle, but it also helps you see hidden intention, maybe what something means behind the words. That is such an advantage in social situations, business situations, romantic situations. It's a tool that you want to have in your tool belt. If we're going to talk about observation, we have to talk about my 3 C's: context, culture, and clusters. First, context. Cues can mean different things in different settings. And the reason why this is important is you always want to give someone the benefit of the context doubt. For example, let's say that someone seems very tired, very disengaged, very disconnected, and you're worried, is it me? Is it something that I said? And then you learn that they just got off a red-eye flight. That is context you need to know. That discomfort, that disengagement, they're just tired. It has nothing to do with you, and what they need is warmth. So the first thing you have to do when you're thinking about observation is take in your context. Where are you both? Where have they been? What's their emotional setting? What's happened before your interaction? What's happening during your interaction? If you see a negative cue, is there any reason why that negative cue could not be about you, and how can you help? Second C, culture. Many of the cues that we are learning are universal. For example, when humans make eye contact, they produce oxytocin. However, the amount of appropriate eye contact varies culture to culture. Or touch. When we mutually touch, we produce oxytocin, but the kind of touch varies culture to culture. This means the second thing you should do in observation is take in what your culture is doing. This could be your corporate culture. What's the typical accepted greeting in your room? But also your broader culture. I like to mirror and match the culture I'm in. So I look around the room, whether that's a company or a place, and I try to say, what is everyone else doing? Do I feel comfortable meeting them where they're at? Mirroring and matching their culture. The third most important part of observation is clusters. This is insurance. You never want to interpret one cue alone. For example, let's say that you see someone do a nose touch. Now, some research shows that a nose touch can signal lying. Yes, they've actually researched this, that liars tend to touch their nose more often. So you're in a meeting and you see someone nose touch. You would not want to take that cue alone, because what if they're just having a bad allergy day? Now, if you see that nose touch along with other lie detection cues, some shame, some blocking, then you might have a red flag, but you would never want to take that cue alone. In this way, I like to look for clusters of cues, 3 to 5 cues, to make sure that what you think you're seeing is what you're actually seeing. Never take one cue alone. Always look for the cues around it. The goal here is not to create gotcha moments where you're like, gotcha, I saw a nose touch. Gotcha, I saw that you pulled your left ear on that poker play. The goal here is to look at the cluster of behavior and try to find the emotion or the intention behind it. We are looking for behavior patterns. Is someone showing overall positive cues, cues of warmth and openness? Great, you can likely trust them. Is someone sending overall negative cues with negative clusters, a lack of warmth, a lack of competence? Maybe want to be careful, maybe want to step back, maybe want to do more research. The goal in observation is to figure out what your next step is, not a gotcha moment. A fun exercise you can try is watching a video on mute. Bonus points if you can find a meeting that was a little bit tense. See what cues you see in their face, in their gestures. Are you seeing the negative clusters? Then watch it again with the sound, tonality, word choice. Does the meaning of those cues change? As really excellent observers, we need to take in all of the context, all of the clusters, and remember, keep in mind the culture that they're in. When we really like someone, we subtly, without even realize it, mirror their different channels of communication. They've even found that when we really like someone, we mirror their vocal tone. So see if they are copying or mimicking your nonverbal cues. That is a great sign that you're on to a great connection. Mirroring is actually not inauthentic or forced. It's a very natural human instinct. Research found that best friends can even sync up their breathing rate, their heart rate. It's a natural human response to really wanting to get on the physiological same page as someone else. And you can also think about this in terms of energy. So, for example, you might have someone where you meet them and they speak a little slower, a little lower. They have less expressiveness. They're more quiet and warm. Or you might have someone who's very high energy and they use lots of expressiveness and lots of hand gestures and high volume. Them mirroring or matching you shows them that they want to get on the same page as you, non-verbally. One of my other favorite cues to look for when you're observing is an eyebrow raise. Now, an eyebrow raise across cultures is a show of interest. Think about it this way. When you're really interested in something or someone, your eyebrows raise up to literally get out of the way so you can see more and more clearly. They found that even infants pay attention to faces when they eyebrow raise. I think this is really important for both business and social settings. In business settings, if you're giving a presentation or you're pitching your boss and he or she raises their eyebrows at a certain point, you know you've just intrigued them. Double down on that. In social or romantic settings, if you say something and someone suddenly raises their eyebrows, that is something that just sparked their curiosity, sparked their interest. Watch for eyebrow raises. It means you're on the right track. How do you know if you're having a negative first impression or you're making someone uncomfortable or anxious? These are the cues you want to observe. First, shame. The shame cue is a very interesting cue, and it looks like this. When someone touches the side of their forehead, either side, it's actually a blocking behavior. When we don't like something, we want to block it out. We can do this with our body by crossing our arms. We can also do this by covering our eyes or our face. That's called eye blocking. So when someone touches the side of their forehead, they're literally trying to say, I don't want to see this. This is making me uncomfortable. On prank shows, you always see people go, oh no, and cover their face. And that's because they're so embarrassed or ashamed. Watch out for this cue in conversation. If you just made someone uncomfortable, they might suddenly eye block. Pause right there and try to build rapport. Ask, everything okay? Are we good? Any questions about that? Let me circle back. Noticing shame is part one, but responding to it is second. The best gift you can give someone if they're feeling shame is giving them permission to share what is making them feel uncomfortable so you can understand them better. Another negative cue you want to watch out for is sudden distancing. So when we like something, we want to get closer to it. We lean in to smell something better, to hear something better, to get closer to it. The opposite happens when we don't like something. We distance ourselves from it. This might happen with a sudden lean back. It also might happen with a sudden look back. It might happen with it might also be with a head tilt back. If someone's standing, you will literally see them take a physical step back. This is the body's innate reaction to, I don't like this. I want to get away from it. I don't want to be associated with it. I want to protect myself from it. If you say something and someone suddenly scoots back, steps back, take note. Something you've said has just turned them off and you want to find out exactly what it is. There's one more negative cue I want you to listen for, and it's called the question inflection. The question inflection is when you go up at the end of your sentence. So instead of a sentence, it sounds like a question. Now, there are some people who habitually question inflection. That's the way they speak. For them, that's their habit, and we should try to get them out of it. But for someone who is speaking and then suddenly asks, like they're not sure, pay attention. The question inflection is often a giveaway of not knowing and sometimes deception. And intuitively, we actually know this. Researchers found that when humans hear the question inflection accidentally used on a statement, our brain goes from listening to scrutinizing. It's as if the brain knows, wait, you're unsure of that. Should I be unsure of that too? In sales trainings, I hear this all the time, where someone asks a number they're unsure of. So it sounds like this. We'd love to have your business. We'd love to work with you. And the cost of the service is $5,000. If you ask your numbers, you are begging people to negotiate with you. And if you hear someone ask a number or ask a boundary or ask a statement, question it. Decide, why is someone asking me this? Are they sure about it? This is a great way to protect yourself. A lot of us instinctively know some of these cues. We have an instinct that if someone leans back or steps away from us, that they are suddenly disengaged. The power of this, and why I'm so happy you're here, is knowing it gives you permission to take quick action. and to be prepared to take that action. If you know that sudden distancing or an oddly placed question inflection could signal that something is off, you know to trust your gut. So often we doubt our instincts, we doubt the red flags that we hear, we doubt the alarm bells that are ringing in our head. I want you to know, wait, I just saw a cluster, a question inflection, a lean back, and shame. I'm stopping and I'm taking control to find out what is actually going on. My goal with these cues is to listen to your instincts so you know exactly what to do when they happen. I know observation takes some practice, and I know this better than anyone. I used to think that everyone all the time was mad at me. I was often misinterpreting neutral expressions as negative. So if this is you or you find that you're often misinterpreting, know that you can hone these skills. They've found that there's a specific part of our brain, it's called the fusiform face area, that is used to identify facial expressions. And the more you practice and activate it, the better that part of your brain becomes. So think of observation like a muscle. The more you practice this with the reps, the easier it will be where you don't even have to think about it. And your response feels more in control. Where if you spot a negative cue, it doesn't rattle you. You know, I got this, I know what to say, I know what that meant, and it puts you more in control. And the best part of observation is it gives you social confidence.
Want to support the channel? Join the Big Think members community where you get access to videos early, ad-free.